If you're a marketer, I'm pretty sure you've come across moments where you might have a data set, and that data set could be about a campaign. You might want to run an analysis on it, or you want to do some sort of segmentation. But that data set has some PII or personally identifiable information, like name, email, maybe sometimes even company name. And you might run into some privacy issues if you are just taking that entire file and sending it directly to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. So I wanted to share a quick tip where you can actually clean out that PII data locally on your laptop or your own machine using a local model. And I know when somebody says local model, some people might think it's very technical and that would require programming and such in order to install it and run it, but it's actually pretty easy. So let's see how you can do that. I use this tool called LM Studio, and there are a few features that I really like, which maybe we can cover in some other video. But if you just go to lmstudio.ai, and just to be clear, I have no affiliations with them, you can then download the app and install it. So I've already installed it. Let me close it out and then start it again so you can see what it looks like. So once you install it, you would see this familiar UI, which looks pretty much like any other ChatGPT-ish kind of user experience. After installing it, the first thing you would do is to look on the left-hand side where my mouse is, and then click on Model Search, which is this last icon here. This is showing you all the models that's open source and it's available to you to download and then run it from your own machine. My personal favorite is Qwen 3.6 and 35 billion because I have a slightly larger RAM size. Depending on your Mac and depending on the total memory that you have, this will show you over here whether this model is too big for you to run it, in which case you should not. So find something smaller, like maybe even 4 billion parameters, which is considered to be small and would require a much smaller RAM than, let's say, 32 gigs or whatever. So then you can just click on download, and it will take obviously some time to download. As you can see, the smallest model is about 16 GB. So I've already installed the model. Now if I go to my models on the left-hand side, you can see I have these two models. I have a Gemma 4 and Qwen 3.6. Now this is what I want to use to clean out that PII file. So when I click on this, all I have to do on the right-hand side is say use in new chat. And you can see now it's loading that model on your machine. So when you download it, it's just a file. Now it's loaded it into your memory. So now you can chat with it. But before I start chatting with it, there's a couple of other things I would do. On this right-hand side, I would enable JS Code Sandbox because it allows the model to create code and run it on a sandbox so that it can do additional things that you want it to do. And then the next one I would do is also switch on RAG V1 because this allows you to upload files and then search and talk through it, which is what we're going to do. So now that we have here, and you can switch on thinking versus not thinking. Thinking is a little bit slower. If it's a much more heavier task, you might want to consider switching on thinking. And this case, we are not using vision, but you could also use vision, which is for images and such. So what I'm going to do next is I want to pass on this CSV file that I have. And don't worry, this is not real data. So I had another large language model generate this synthetically. But just to give you an idea, what we are doing here is we are looking at a campaigns data or a simulated campaigns data. And what I want is this exact same data set, but without the email addresses so that I can send it to a larger model. So what I'm going to do is to click on this attach, and then I'll choose this CSV file that I have. You can imagine that you got this probably from your campaigns platform or marketing automation campaign platform. And then what I'm going to do is to give it an instruction to keep the integrity of the data, but only scramble or change the PII data. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so just a quick explanation of what I did. I don't want it to remove the column altogether because I might still want to keep the exact format of the file for my analysis. And there are a number of reasons for that. And second, maybe I still want to have some sort of an identifier for that column so that when I bring it back and, collate it with the other data set, there's some sort of an integrity. So that's why I chose this way. But you could potentially just ask it to, change that column or completely replace that column with something else. So now once it's done, and I've already done this, so you don't need to wait for the entire video to be over, this is what it would tell you. So this file was saved here locally. And the way you can find out where this is by simply asking it what is the location of the folder, or wherever your chat is, you can say reveal in Finder, and that would open up the folder where this file was created. And then from that point onwards, you can then take that CSV file, upload it to Cloud or wherever you want to do a much more thorough analysis and take it from there. So hopefully this is helpful for anybody looking to do analysis, but don't want to share any PII data with the large language model.